In this video, we'll show you how to build a pivot chart using PowerPivot data. Once I've imported data into my PowerPivot workbook, pivot charts help me efficiently summarize, analyze, explore, and present my data.
I'm starting with a PowerPivot workbook I created in a previous video. It already has my data imported, relationships created, and a pivot table.
Now I'd like to add a pivot chart to support my previously created pivot table. First, in the PowerPivot Home ribbon, click the Pivot Table button.
Be sure to create the pivot chart from the PowerPivot ribbon. There is also a Pivot Table button on the Excel ribbon, but Excel pivot charts cannot use data from a PowerPivot window.
Next, select Pivot Chart. Then select Existing Worksheet and click the Range Selection icon. You can type a range in the field here or simply click the cell and then click OK.
Excel adds an empty pivot chart to the location I specified and displays the PowerPivot task pane. The task pane displays two sections, a field list at the top for adding and removing fields, and a section at the bottom for rearranging and repositioning fields.
In the Fact Sales table, select the Total Profit field. In the Product Category table, select Product Category Name.
The pivot chart shows a visual representation of Contoso profits by category.
This is interesting, but I'd like to see this as a two-dimensional pie chart, so I select the Design tab in the Pivot Chart Tools group and click the Change Chart Type.
I apply the settings and then resize the pivot chart. I continue to customize my pie chart by editing the title and labels.
This is a simple analysis of my data. To dig deeper, I'll add measures, calculations, and slicers, all of which are covered in separate videos.
To delete a pivot chart, click inside the pivot chart and press Delete, or right-click and select Cut. Deleting the pivot chart does not delete the associated pivot table report.
For more information on pivot charts and for help with other PowerPivot tasks, please visit us online and check back as we continually add new documentation and videos.
I recommend watching the videos in this series in order, especially if you're following along using your own installation of PowerPivot for Excel. Some of the steps in one video build upon steps taken in a previous video. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. I hope you found it helpful.